Hi, all friends who are appearing for CDCS or you are in trade finance in any which ways. Okay? The real problem which we face as a trade finance professional, we always face in merchanting trade. See, I have taken a separate session on merchanting trade on the same channel, CDCS at Adda247. Kindly subscribe to the channel. Do it first. Click on the bell icon. I have taken a separate session. What is merchanting trade? All the details I have given. But today, I'll take a step further. Today's topic is a step ahead. Is merchanting trade really difficult? Means you know the process, but practically we still have that resistance. Is it really difficult? So if you want to know the difficulty, you need to know where you may go wrong. Where can be the mistake? For that, this special session. Merchanting trade or intermediary trade. See, it's also called as intermediary trade. Intermediary why? Intermediary, because we are just a broker. I'm transferring goods from China to Europe. That's it. I am staying in Bharat. I'm just a broker. Intermediary. Can go wrong in several ways, primarily centered around strict regulatory compliance, financial risks, and operational, logistical and documentation failures. All of them we are going to discuss. See, this is basically the summary of what we are going to discuss today. In the context of Indian regulations, these transactions are heavily monitored by RBI and DGFT, Director General of Foreign Trade. Okay. So we are going to discuss all these points related to all the countries. See, you be in any country. The rules and regulations are roughly the same, plus or minus here and there. See, time limit violations. The entire transaction, both in import and export leg, must be completed within 9 months with no foreign exchange outlay exceeding 6 months. Earlier that was 4 months, now it is 9 months. If you don't follow this, then it becomes difficult. Then the real question comes, is merchanting trade really difficult? If you follow the guidelines, if you follow the rules, what's the difficulty in that? There is no difficulty. But if you follow this, if you miss out on this 9 months, if you miss out on this 6 months, then you'll have to pay the penalty. See, everything is financial. You won't be put in the jail, right? It's a financial. If there's a financial error, you can definitely pay the penalty and leave. Okay? So, but if you follow the rules, why to pay the penalty also? If you follow the rules, 9 months and 6 months, done, isn't it? Goods restrictions. Trading in goods that are prohibited, restricted or subject to SCOMET. What is SCOMET? Special chemicals, organisms, materials, equipments and technologies. SCOMET, this is a very important part. You don't know what is being traded where. We as a bankers, we don't know that much. So this is the problem. Even if we are not a banker, you are a trader, you are an agent, then also you can't have a knowledge of all these organisms. Which organism is allowed to trade, which organism is not allowed to trade. There are so many biological warfares nowadays going on, isn't it? So SCOMET, regulations under the foreign trade policy in a major violation, right? So these you have to follow. If you follow these, if you understand this, you get the list of these, then again it's easy. So is the merchanting trade difficult? No, if you follow these rules. Next, document mismatches. Errors in invoices, bill of lading or mismatched details between the import and export legs can lead to regulatory red flags, isn't it? If you don't check the documents properly, invoices not matching with bill of lading or any other document, if it's not matching, then definitely there is a problem. There is a chance of some money laundering issue. There is a chance of some fraud, right? So is it difficult again? No, if you follow the documentation, it's not difficult. Failed one-to-one matching. Both legs of the transaction must be routed through the same AD, authorized dealer. Failure to match the payment inflow and outflow can lead to penalties, isn't it? Simple. See, keep it very simple. The simpler transaction is always better and it will give you profits. Follow the same AD. If export leg is done through one AD, do the import leg also through the same AD. It's better. So for keeping the tracks, isn't it? So inflow and outflow can be tracked. Third party payments prohibited under RBI guidelines. So you cannot do a third party payment. Simple. You have to pay to this exporter and get the money from the importer. Simple. Operational and logistics failure. So why does it become difficult? One was the documentation part. Now it is operational part. Let's look at it. Transformation of goods. Merchanting requires that the goods do not undergo any transformation. Okay, there is no change in the goods. Whatever I have purchased from China, the same goods should move to Europe. I should not do any change in that. Some value addition, not allowed. Okay? Or change in state, meaning no processing or value addition is allowed. Simple. If you do it, then it's not a merchanting trade. Simple. Entry into domestic tariff area. Again, it should not enter. Goods cannot enter the physical customs territory of the country of the intermediary, right? So if I am from Bharat and I am purchasing the goods from China and selling to Europe, they will not enter my port. They will directly move from China to Europe. Merchanting. Okay? Shipping issues. If goods are damaged or lost in transit, the intermediary faces liability. Got it? Goods are damaged or lost. Why? Why will the intermediary face? Because that person has taken the responsibility. Right? If I am sending the goods from China to Europe and something happens in between, so this Europe person, buyer, will blame me, not the Chinese guy. Right? Confidentiality breach. The original supplier may find out who the final buyer is, cutting the intermediary out of the future business. This generally happens in all the businesses. So that way you have to maintain the relationships. See, after all, if you maintain the profits properly, then even every buyer and seller understands. Okay? But if you try to go for haphazard profits or huge profits, which is outside your business line or which is not a normal norm, then everyone will try to bypass you. Keep it that simple, isn't it? Financial and payment risks. Buyer default. The final buyer may fail to pay, leaving the intermediary to pay the supplier, resulting in a loss. Isn't it? It can happen that European person or European company may not pay me. I'll have to pay this Chinese counterpart, seller. Isn't it? Foreign exchange fluctuations. Volatility in the currency rates can erode margins, especially because of the transaction cycle is long. Isn't it? Because it's, after all, see, 9 months is a big period. In 9 months, what happens, you don't know. Cash outlays for 6 months. That is also a longer period. Many things can happen in these periods. So that's why foreign exchange fluctuations will be huge. The dollar rate at which I had done the transaction or fixed the transaction may not exist after 6 months. Isn't it? Non-profitability. If the transaction results in a loss after accounting for expenses, it may violate the regulatory requirement that it should be a gainful trade. Very simple. Even RBI says the same. Whatever you do as a merchanting trade should be in a profit. Simple. Otherwise, don't do it. If you are doing it and failing in it, so it's not a merchanting trade, and there will be a penalties from your local central banks also. You be from any country. Okay. Due diligence failures, counterparty risk. Dealing with unknown or unverified suppliers, buyers can lead to fraudulent transactions, resulting in Indian entity being caution listed by RBI. Isn't it? Unknown counterparties, obviously. Unknown parties, you don't know who the buyer is or who the seller is. And let that guy be something money launderer. Then you are gone. Whenever you do any transaction, you have to first do the AML or KYC of that person yourself, not dependent on anyone. You must check within your circles who that person is. Right? What is the background? Ignoring sanctions, contravention of international trade agreements for sanctions to which India is a signatory. Right? Sanctions are there on various countries. So if you don't follow the sanctions, you are in a problem. See, all these things make merchanting trade difficult. But if you are cautious about this, why will it be difficult? Simple. So is merchanting trade difficult? No. It's not difficult. Subject to, I follow the guidelines. If I don't follow the guidelines, then merchanting trade becomes difficult. Right? This problem is there in why only merchanting trade? Let it be any transaction, any financial transaction. If I don't follow the guidelines, I'm in trouble. Then I'd say it's very difficult, right? So that's the whole game. So now, this was about merchanting trade, whether difficult or not. See, there is one more session which we have taken on merchanting trade. Don't miss to follow that. Okay? Same channel, link is given. Check just the video section. You'll get a merchanting trade. You will get many videos, okay, on the channel. So don't miss those. All those who are appearing for CDCS, anyone, let it be a banker or non-banker. Okay, all those who are appearing for CDCS, kindly join our Adda247 CDCS batch. See this, the CDCS batch over here. One sec, yeah. Join the CDCS batch over here. In CDCS batch, we are covering all the numericals, all the case studies. Okay, case studies related to, see this, case studies. Case studies related to your MGDC. See, the paper is of two parts, FODC and MGDC. So we are covering all the case studies of MGDC as well as all the objective questions also. All of them, same as your final paper. There are 5 full length papers. So those we are covering. Plus other subject wise, those the questions are based on that also. So don't miss to follow this. And remember, use the code Vishal Sir 50. See, VISHAL. Note this, VISHAL SIR, Vishal Sir 50. Okay? Look at this, 50% discount you are getting. And if you want an installment in this, see, it may happen that you may require installment. So installment also you can get. How will you get the installment? For getting the installment, call this number 919240023281. You be from any country, call this number. Just place 91 before calling. Okay, because that's an India number. So 919240023281. Call this number and join SI. Very useful for you. All those who are in trade finance should give CDCS. Anyone, you be banker, non-banker, anyone. Okay.